Three Atlantic systems are lining up. Could a rare storm dance make the Southeast, Bahamas, or Bermuda pay the price? Maya frames the human toll and urgent prep needs, while Leo parses which cyclone will bully or be bullied. This matters now. Stay ready. Official guidance says uncertainty is high. Public chatter says a wild storm dance is coming. Tonight, we unpack both, because three Atlantic systems are moving in sequence, and the stakes for the Bahamas, Bermuda, and the Southeast are growing.
Online forecasters are calling it wonky and warning of a possible storm dance. People are anxious, and for good reason. Flooded homes in Puerto Rico already, and models all over the place for what comes next.
And the media hype machine loves a dance metaphor. Some of this is useful, some is clicks. Let's separate signal from noise before folks panic buy bottled water on rumors.
Facts first. Hurricane Gabrielle peaked at Category 4 earlier this week, now near Category 1 to 2 as it nears the Azores. Hurricane warnings are up there, with dangerous surf, wind, and several inches of rain expected. Tropical storm. Humberto formed from Invest 93L. It sits well east of the northern leewards, moving northwest. Forecasters expect it to strengthen quickly this weekend, possibly to major hurricane strength over very warm water. Invest 94L is a rainmaker now over Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, linked to deadly flooding in Puerto Rico. It likely organizes near the Bahamas, with high odds of development. If named, it becomes Imelda.
Deadly flooding is not theoretical. It is already happening. That should frame how we talk about uncertainty. Even a messy system can drown a neighborhood. People need shelter, not just spaghetti plots.
For balance, a Fox 26 meteorologist said straight up, Humberto is not coming to Texas and likely curves away from the U.S. coast, bringing rip currents. Clear, calm, no drama. I appreciate that tone.
The National Hurricane Center warns impacts along parts of the Southeast are increasingly possible as 94L organizes. FEMA says, prepare now, sign up for alerts, and follow local officials. That is the official posture.
Meanwhile, a YouTube forecaster showed how mountains over Hispaniola can shred 94L's core. Then a trough adds shear, ripping moisture away. After that, a blocking high may force it back west? Or not. People hear that and spin out.
Another TV meteorologist flagged the big question. Which storm becomes dominant? He called two strong hurricanes side by side exceedingly rare. Usually one wins, the other sputters. That matters for any Fujiwhara talk.
On Fujiwhara, meteorologist Ryan Mao says it could determine whether 94L is tugged out to sea or drawn toward the southeast. Michael Lowry reminds us it is uncommon in the Atlantic, but not impossible.
And if that tug happens wrong, coastal communities without savings or flood insurance will carry the burden. We can debate arcane steering currents all day, but evacuation routes and shelters need funding today.
I hear you. Also, let's not pretend Florida is target number one. That same TV forecast showed the Space Coast parallel track exists, but seems unlikely. Bigger watch window is the Carolinas and maybe the Mid-Atlantic late next week.
Two main scenarios. One, Imelda forms near the Bahamas and arcs toward Georgia or the Carolinas early next week, with rain, surge, and coastal flooding risk. Two, Humberto lures it away, stalls it offshore, or even absorbs it. A forecast complication, placement, and strength of a cutoff low over the southeast, and the spacing between the two cyclones. Ensemble spread beyond Sunday is wide, from near Cuba to off the Carolinas.
One vlogger called it a 1-2 punch for Bermuda if Humberto passes near and the second system lingers. Bermuda cannot shrug at low probabilities. Small island, high exposure. Prep now. Islanders need time to stage supplies.
The Houston update also kept it simple on timing. Humberto ramps up over the weekend and then curves north. Big waves and rip currents, yes. Direct hit, unlikely. That clarity helps people make adult decisions.
Quick recap as we pivot. Immediate hazard in the Azores from Gabrielle. Humberto strengthening offshore with Bermuda in the cone of concern. 94L brings rain now and could organize near the Bahamas with uncertain track.
Also, local severe weather is in the mix. One online forecaster noted the Weather Service added a tornado chance in the east. Even if the tropical core stays offshore, feeder bands and fronts can spin up problems inland.
Which is why personal responsibility matters. Know your flood zone, check the sump pump, clear the gutters. Do not wait for the graphic with a scary cone to tell you to buy batteries. You will want them before the shelf is empty.
Experts stress impacts without landfall, several days of onshore winds, high surf, and rip currents from Florida to New England. Inland, soggy soils plus a slow mover could heighten flash flood risk. Small changes in track matter a lot.
And timing matters for people on shift work, in mobile homes, in public housing. Give them paid time to prepare, translate alerts, put sandbags where the water actually goes, not just at City Hall for the cameras.
Media critique time. Some channels leap from tropical storm to Category 5 fantasy in a sentence. The National Hurricane Center is boring by design, and that is good. They keep repeating the same word, uncertainty. Believe that word.
On uncertainty, specifics are in flux. Development odds for 94L vary by update. Intensity guidance for Humberto spans from modest hurricane to rapidly intensifying major, and position estimates have shifted by hundreds of miles.
A station meteorologist also said 2 strong hurricanes together take a perfect setup. Otherwise, they interact and weaken each other. That is the big unknown. Do they orbit, shear each other, or does one swallow the other?
My bet, like that TV forecasters, is one becomes the bully. Odds favor Humberto as the dominant hurricane, with Imelda struggling if it gets too close. That would steer the second storm away or stall it offshore.
Acu. Weather's Alex da Silva expects the wave to organize over warm Bahamian waters. Bill Walsh cautioned Humberto could become the dominant storm, with the other system dancing around it. That aligns with what you both are noting.
But even a sheared, lopsided cyclone can drop a foot of rain on a city not built for it. Drainage fails, power fails, and the recovery timeline is always longer for those with the least. Prep funds must reach them first.
For those on the beaches, rip currents kill every season. If flags go red, stay out. Boat owners, double lines, and check bilge pumps. That is boring advice, and it saves more lives than arguing over a wiggly model line on social media.
Let's address contradictions head-on. Some model suites curve Imelda toward the Carolinas. Others stall it offshore. A few let Humberto absorb it. No one can promise which path wins. The atmosphere will decide over the next few days.
In the Caribbean, that YouTube breakdown showed dry air wrapping into 94L, while shear strips moisture to the east. That slows intensification but does not erase the flood threat for Puerto Rico and Hispaniola, already soaked.
Florida listeners, one more time, multiple broadcasts put the likely track east of the coast. Paralleling is possible, a Dorian deja vu vibe, but the odds of a hard hit look lower today. Keep watch. Do not catastrophize your group chats.
Bermuda is a wild card. Most guidance keeps Humberto offshore the U.S., but some runs bring wind and surf to Bermuda depending on storm size and bend. Islanders should review plans now, not when watches go up.
Carolinas, too. Local offices flagged a stalled front this weekend. That can prime soils and creeks before any tropical rain arrives. Drought relief is good, but pre-soaked ground means runoff spikes when bands set up later.
And do not forget the inland piece. Mountains wring out moisture. You can be hours from the coast and still see creek rises and mudslides. If you live near a low crossing, plan alternate routes now, not at midnight in a downpour.
Timeline check. Gabrielle crosses the Azores in the near term. Humberto likely strengthens Friday into the weekend. 94L should reach the Bahamas late week into the weekend, with the early next week window pivotal for track.
Communication check. Push alerts in Spanish and English across Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic now. In the Bahamas, stage generators and meds on the outer islands before seas build and ferries stop running.
And stateside, know where your local sandbag station is. If officials say surge is possible, move the car from the low garage. This is not fear. It is tidy living. You will thank yourself when the tide is angry on Sunday night.
One more recap to frame expectations. The range of plausible outcomes is wide because of storm spacing, a developing cutoff low, and very warm water. Officials will refine guidance daily as data arrives and structure consolidates.
And as guidance tightens, do not forget the people already hit. Puerto Rico has fresh flood damage, Hispaniola faces landslides. Recovery dollars and crews should be pre-positioned, not waiting for a name change to Imelda.
If you follow influencers, demand receipts. Show the verification, not just the scariest run. My rule is simple. If the National Hurricane Center is measured, I match that tone. Panic is not a plan. A checklist is.
Final notes. Check rip current risk if you plan beach time from Florida to New England. Even without a landfall, long-period swells and onshore flow can produce dangerous surf and coastal flooding at high tide for several days.
For those commuting on bridges and causeways, watch for closures during peak wind. And transit agencies communicate early if routes will be suspended. Vulnerable workers need time to adjust shifts and childcare.
Fishermen, marinas, charter captains, mind the forecast windows. Get the haul-outs done before the gradient winds arrive. You will not want to be on a travel lift in a nor'easter-like setup while two cyclones tango offshore.
We will watch two things closely. 1, the distance between Humberto and the Bahamas disturbance. 2, the strength and placement of that southeast cutoff low. Those knobs will nudge this from coastal hazard to coastal hit or a miss.
And let's keep equity centered. Alerts must reach barrier islands, migrant camps, and rural communities with poor cell coverage. Otherwise, uncertainty becomes an excuse for unequal outcomes. We can do better than that.
I will give credit where due. Many local Mets have been steady and specific. Timelines, hazards, no theatrics. Follow them, not the loudest thumbnail on your feed, and check official updates at least twice a day until the window closes.
Closing thought. The Atlantic is busy. The forecasts are honest about the uncertainty. On our next episode, we will revisit once Humberto consolidates and 94L clears the islands. What changes first, the spacing or the steering?